So the seventh largest country in the world has just attacked Bitcoin as it's pumped back above $100,000 literally hours ago. So who is this country and why are they attacking Bitcoin today once it's above $100,000? Well, I'm not going to tell you who this country is, but I will say I think it's a little bit coincidental that we're seeing European countries from all around the world attack Bitcoin. Today, we're talking about, of course, unrealized capital gains taxes in the seventh largest country being proposed. But let's not forget, Denmark is proposing 42% taxes on, that's right, unrealized capital gains in Bitcoin. And who forgot Italy, what they did only weeks ago, where they came out and said that they wanted to double the taxes on Bitcoin. Why are we seeing all of these European dominoes? Well, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a hint for why I believe we're seeing these European dominoes, and that's because of this brand new progress report that just dropped out of the ECB. This was their second progress report on, guess what? Central bank digital currencies. What is the state of central bank digital currencies in Europe? Is it heating up? Is this why it looks as if European countries are closing the escape door on Bitcoin? Let's have a look. We got a lot to talk about today as the price of Bitcoin is pumping. We can see here, 4 days ago, the ECB has published their second progress report on the digital euro preparation phase. I'm going to tell you, I've done a little bit of digging, and I think this article headline tells us absolutely everything we need to know. Digital euro preparation continues as a holding limit and privacy is debated. You heard that right. A holding limit. They are going to limit how long you can hold your own money. No, I'm not making this up. This is coming straight from the horse's mouth. This is coming straight from the ECB's very own reports. You cannot make this stuff up. So let's break down what's going on right now. Right now, it looks as if we are eyeing a October 2025 launch of the digital euro. How many of you guys are tuning in from the Eurozone? Will you stay to live in your country if they are actually pushing through a central bank digital currency in October 2025? Well, we can see here a final report will be released in July 2025. They are apparently in the halfway point in their preparatory phase, their prep phase. They're halfway through their prep phase, but they're facing some issues. We can see, let's go straight to the horse's mouth. An ECB tweet says that since May 2024, we have assessed user needs for the digital euro's design. Oh, of course. I mean, the design is the most important thing about a digital euro. It's all about the design. I mean, what? They've taken how many months to design a central bank digital currency? Again, a little bit crazy, but I believe they're trying to distract you from what really matters. They've made progress on the selection of digital euro component providers. Oh yeah, great job. Clap your hands for the ECB. They've done a great stuff here. And they've continued to develop the digital euro rulebook. So what kind of rules are going to be in this digital euro? Well, they're telling us that we're going to see cash-like privacy. The report has indicated a possibility of making a few improvements to the user experience so that the citizens of the euro get stronger privacy. Cash-like privacy is what they're saying. Oh boy, hello. What else do they have to say? Oh, where's the thing about the holding limits? We have to find that. Because they are literally talking about the fact that you're not going to be able to hold your own cash. So we can see in its second report, holding limits for the CBDC and harmonization. Oh boy, they love to use those beautiful words. Holding limits for the central bank digital currency and harmonization of laws were some of the questions addressed in this report. Again, it's very similar to what do they call it? They're very similar to the Patriot Act. Again, they say, oh, we're doing this very patriotic thing. We're only about societal harmonization, when in reality, the Patriot Act wasn't very patriotic. It was all about stripping away your freedoms. And I'm telling you, pay very close attention when you see words like harmonization. Oh, God, it makes me want to vomit. Don't know about you guys, but this here is what's going to make you want to vomit. So research is continuing on the digital euro user profile to identify the needs of likely users. That input will include user preferences on holding limits, which will be considered in the technical research. Politico reported in October that holding limits has become a point of contention between the ECB and the national central banks. Why? Why is holding limits becoming a contention? Maybe the national central banks want to have a control, but the ECB is a part of this globalist agenda. And they're trying to bring all the control up to the very top, where they want, I'm going to be careful what I say here, but let's say there's a narrative in this globalist circle that wants all the control at the top. We're hearing we need to make sure that sovereign nations surrender their sovereignty. We need a one world government. These are some of the narratives just trickling around. I'm going to be careful with who says what about anything. We like to stay very factual here on YouTube. But that is a narrative that most of you guys have seen. It's percolating around the globalist circles. Final paragraph here is the most interesting one. One solution under consideration for maintaining an upper holding limit is a reverse waterfall. Oh, hello. Here's these beautiful terms you guys need to pay attention to. This reverse waterfall would automatically transfer excess digital euros to fiat in a linked bank account. A reverse waterfall that's going to automatically transfer your CBDC tokens into fiat. Boy, what do you guys in the chat think of that? Is that reverse waterfall a trap? Is that an escape valve? Why are they automatically converting your CBDC token into something else? How dare you have savings? Oh, the economy looks a bit slow. How about we just use that beautiful thing we call a reverse waterfall to convert the savings of the hardworking business owner and entrepreneur? Let's just take their cash that's sitting in their CBDC token. They're being very unproductive by saving. So let's just convert that, because again, we have this beautiful thing called a reverse waterfall. And let's just convert that instantly into cash that has to be spent. I don't know, but what I'm beginning to see is alarm bells. And I'm beginning to get the sense that maybe the ECB is beginning to kind of get their ducks in a row with their central bank digital currency that they believe has all of these beautiful things with it. Like reverse waterfalls. McLovin says money is like water. It'll flow to where there is less resistance blocking it, away from the tyrannical regimes. Such a beautiful quote, considering we're talking about reverse waterfalls in this ECB second progress report that we are seeing, dropped earlier in the week, literally 4 days ago. Everybody is hyper bullish. Everybody is incredibly bullish. I'm more bullish than most people, but I'm telling you guys, I think the dots we need to be putting together is the fact that the 7th largest country in the world with a $3 trillion GDP, France, is now wanting Bitcoin hodlers to pay taxes on their unproductive wealth. Because again, what's the language here that France is using? Bitcoin holders have unproductive wealth. So this comes out, let's look at the date of this. This is on the 6th of December. That's today. Breaking news. And what came out 4 days ago? This report from the ECB, where they're openly saying that holding limits need to be introduced because we can't have people holding money. Are you seeing the problem? They're coming for the people with the money. The business owners, the entrepreneurs. Why won't you live in Australia, Luke? It's a bit extreme and radical to say you won't live in Australia for the foreseeable future. You haven't been back in 3 years, and I don't plan on it. This is why. The nonsense we're seeing. All the Western countries have the exact same problem. That's why you're slowly beginning to see them implement the same perceived solution. And this is the same way that every government collapses. This is the same way that every fiat currency collapses. Every fiat has collapsed in human history. Hundreds of fiat currencies have collapsed. Once you have too much debt, you have no other options. You have to print the money, debase the money, and implement tyrannical actions and capital controls on the citizenry so that they're okay with paying the higher taxes to pay off the debt. This isn't rocket science, guys. This is what they do. This is why we're seeing all of these European countries, again, the most indebted countries, attack Bitcoin, a money that they can't tax. Have a look at this one. Capital gains taxes are now potentially going to be 42% in Europe. And I actually want to show you something else because Italy, not Europe, got a little bit of heat for this announcement. Oh, they got a lot of heat, don't you worry. Rightfully so as well. So I'm going to jump on over here. We can now see that Italy poised to water down proposed 42% tax on crypto trading. Why? Because they got too much pushback. They didn't want the same thing happening to their country that happened to Norway. Again, Norway is just another one of these countries that has done some silly things. I'm going to talk about this in a moment here. But I first want to show you this. This is the GDP of France. Like, this is why we're paying very close attention to what's happening in Europe, because these aren't small countries attacking Bitcoin. These are enormous countries attacking Bitcoin. As you can see, France has a $3 trillion GDP. They're the 7th largest economy in the world. And Italy is also an enormous country. Let's have a look at Italy. Just while we're here, let's jump up over here and have a look at Italy. So France has attacked Bitcoin today. France also floated the idea of unrealized capital gains taxes. We can see here, Italy, 2.25 trillion USD GDP. They are ranked at number 8th. So the 7th and the 8th largest countries in the world right now are attacking Bitcoin in Europe. Not a coincidence. Let's have a look at the France unrealized capital gains taxes, because this is obviously related. Around 2 to 3 weeks ago, we saw France floating the idea of unrealized capital gains taxes. Let's jump on over here to this website. And again, I find it interesting how it's so difficult to find articles written on this. Why? Ask yourself the question. I love this image. This image is hilarious. France's looming tax hikes will force wealthy citizens to move away. That's right. They will have to move away. And they will probably do exactly what the Norwegians had to do this year. So again, what happened in Norway, and why is this all related in the one story? Why am I talking about all of this in the one video? It's all related. Wealthy Norwegians flee to Switzerland to evade high wealth taxes. Okay, what happened? We talked about this earlier in the year. The Norwegian government thought that they were too smart. The Norwegian government thought, if we just raise taxes, you know what? We reckon we can squeeze 150 million out of our citizens. They did the maths, they did the numbers, and they said that's how much we think we can get out of them. What happened? Something like $40 billion worth of wealth left the country. Something absurd. It was like an order of magnitude more wealth than they thought they would create by just squeezing the taxes on the rich by 1% higher. Very small change, but we can see very clearly central planners do not understand exponentials. They do not understand that we're in a digital age. And no longer can you milk the cows who were sitting idle in a field in the industrial age. Again, 20 years ago, without the communications network and the internet that we're blessed with today, You could have raised taxes 1% on the rich and the wealthy, and they couldn't leave their country and go work somewhere else. It's impossible, feasibly impossible. Even 6 years ago, there was only 4.8 million digital nomads in the year 2018. That's not many. 4.8 million, it's not a lot of people. Okay, El Salvador is a pretty small country, and the digital nomad community all around the world was smaller than El Salvador. Today, that's not true. Today, the digital nomad community, only 6 years later, is actually bigger than a G10 or a G20 giant. My former home country, Australia, there's 35 million digital nomads today, and all of a sudden we have enough economic power that the elites cannot ignore us. And we are now, all of a sudden, moving everywhere around the world. The reason why there are so many digital nomads is because technology has changed. The elites and the central planners from this article headline here, as you can see, do not understand the technology. They do not understand that we right now have escape valves. Okay? We have an escape valve and it will be used. But it will only be a functional escape valve if you use Bitcoin the way it should be used. Okay, again, we got 877 of you guys on the live stream today. I want you all to be prepared because I think if you're in Europe right now, the attacks are coming. The attacks are coming faster. And I'm not going to lie, I would be scared if I was in Europe right now. I really would be. Okay, I believe you need a plan B. If you are new and if you are looking for somewhere to buy your Bitcoin and begin your Bitcoin journey, so to say, I always encourage you guys to check out what Caleb and Brown is doing. They offer a really unique service in the space. They are your one-stop shop Bitcoin broker. Okay, so that means they're perfect for the new guy or an institutional guy because they will get on a phone with you and walk you through the Bitcoin buying journey. Okay, they will help you with all of your needs. They will show you how to buy the Bitcoin. They'll even teach you about the Bitcoin if you want to know more about Bitcoin. That's what a broker is. I think it's a really interesting, unique service. Again, if you're looking for someone to buy Bitcoin, these guys have 7 years experience. So if you want to buy Bitcoin, make sure you head on over to Caleb and Brown. There is a link in the live chat and also down below in the description where you can learn more about what they're doing. And then once you bought your Bitcoin, again, self-custody your Bitcoin. We're pretty simple on this channel. We're Bitcoin only. We tell you, put your Bitcoin in cold storage. Once you've done that, check out what StampSeed is doing. Because so many people, I believe, make the pivotal mistake of not doing this, stamping their Bitcoin backup words into something that's actually going to last the test of time, okay? You know what doesn't last the test of time? You know what will not survive? Fire, house floods, hurricanes, dogs, children. This flimsy stuff here. Look at this paper. I just found this sitting on the desk here that I'm operating with. And have a look at that. You don't want your Bitcoin backup words written down on that. You want your Bitcoin backup words written down on titanium. Check it out. Highly recommend you guys check out what StampSeed is doing. I believe they are a very, very unique but much needed product in the Bitcoin space, which is why I've partnered up with those guys. And as you can also see in the live chat, you can see that you guys will be able to get a 15% discount off anything you want to buy from StampSeed with that promo code Luke15. So that's down below in the description as well. Highly recommend you start your Bitcoin buying journey today and then take it to the next level with StampSeed. Now, how would I play living in Europe right now? What would I do? Okay, we're seeing ECB, central bank digital currencies being talked about being implemented in the next couple of years. What do we do? What would I do? Would I stay? Would I leave? How would I cut that cookie? Okay, that's a question I get asked a lot. Again, I've been pretty straightforward with what I'm doing personally. I will not live in another Western country for the foreseeable future. It's not going to happen. Again, I had such a cushy life in Australia. I was living on the Gold Coast. That's like the Miami of Australia. Beautiful town, beautiful beaches, beautiful city. I'm going to show you guys some photos so you know what I'm talking about here. Honestly, so many people ask me, Luke, you're crazy to leave. I had an apartment that I was renting out and I was actually making money on the apartment. So again, like I had a very cushy setup here in the Gold Coast. As you can see, the place is nice. Okay, and I to answer Gio's question in the chat, I actually had a personal training business, and I converted the garage of my little apartment on the Gold Coast into a gym. So yes, I love training. I've been training every day for too many years. If I told you the amount of years, you wouldn't believe me because I don't look good enough to have said that I've been training every day for 12 years. But I love the gym. It's part of my daily routine. And even though I had such a great life in Australia, I knew that things in a Bitcoin way would become dangerous for me in the future. The Australian government is talking about similar things that the French government is talking about and what we're talking about today. Okay, I believe Western nations will have to attack Bitcoin and Bitcoiners. Okay, and they're going to take two very different paths. America right now actually looks as if it's taking a bullish, more positive path in the way they're going to be thinking about freedom and self-sovereignty and all that good stuff. Trying to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Even the president, the future president's creating shit coins, okay? He's probably going to be very hands-off and he's just going to let people do what they want to do, okay? Again, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, okay? You can try to put the fire hose in a horse's mouth. It's not going to work, all right? So people are going to do what they're going to do. And, you know, I love free markets. So we'll let the free market do what it's going to do. Again, I think I also love what's happening in El Salvador, where they're taking a no shitcoin approach. It's just Bitcoin and only Bitcoin in the country. I don't have a dog in the fight. But what I will say is that the live chat is on absolute fire. Fucking France. Rock VTM, good morning, my friend. Good afternoon, wherever you are. But what I will say is that European countries, someone caught one of my Freudian slips, European countries from all over the world. What I will say is that Western countries are a place I will not personally be living in. Kudos to my man, Sean Clark, my favorite Bitcoin YouTuber who I consume his live streams daily. And actually the idea for a little bit of today's live stream actually came from Sean. I saw him breaking down this article here, and it got me really thinking about all of the other things we've seen in Europe and Italy and France. So kudos to Sean. If you're not following G'day Bitcoin on YouTube, you should be. He covers the Bitcoin news, the fast facts. I think fast facts is something much needed in the Bitcoin space. So kudos to Sean and welcome. And I couldn't agree more. Like, unrealized capital gains taxes, they really are criminal. Like, how dare you steal my wealth? That's what it is. Like, it's theft. Like, for those who don't know what an unrealized capital gains tax is, that just means right now, the taxes that most people are aware of is capital gains tax. So if your capital or if your money appreciates in value that you've invested into, so if your house goes from 1 million to 2 million, the government's going to try to tax you on that 1 million gain when you sell it. Naturally, you sell your house when it gets to 2 million, you've got $1 million of profit. We want some of that profit. That's what the government says. Now they're saying, well, even if your house goes from 1 million to 2 million and you don't sell it, theoretically you have a gain. So we just want some of your money now, okay? This goes to show just how criminal these thieves are getting. The tyranny is escalating. Now, when it comes to practical implementation, this was something else I wanted to talk about. I want to make it very clear that I don't think the central planners are going to succeed in their stupid plans. So again, a lot of people say, oh, Luke, you're not living in Australia because you're so scared of the government being competent. Oh, no, I'm not. I actually think CBDCs are going to fall and flop, and they're going to really struggle to push them through. And All Night Hider in the chat here says that they're a legal dichotomy and they're easily challenged. That's why I don't think it will fly. I think they're going to struggle to make it happen. I think when it comes to legality, our friends in power will just change the rules. So I'm not too concerned about the legal dichotomy. They will get pushback and they won't be popular, but the central planners will just change the rules. Remember in 2020, the Fed is not allowed to buy assets. So what did they do when the stock markets were crashing, the corporate bond market was crashing? The Fed just created all of these special purpose vehicles that they gave money to and told them to go buy the assets. And the Fed said, yeah, we're not breaking the law. The Federal Reserve doesn't buy stocks directly. These are the kind of roundabout nonsense rules and regulations that we're going to see created when the monetary system is challenged and their ability to steal wealth from you is challenged. That's correct. McLovin says unrealized means it didn't happen. That's 100%. That's a great way to think about it. Unrealized gains. You haven't taken the gains yet. They're not realized. Just trying to answer every question in the chat here. Geo owes me 0.1 Bitcoin. That's right. He challenged me to a push-up contest in one of these live streams. Where was I? I think I was actually in Peru, but different apartment. You owe me 0.1 Bitcoin, Geo. Oh, geez, there's some spicy comments in here. Okay, guys, speaking about spicy comments, I will say thank you to everyone who came and tuned into the Simply Bitcoin live stream earlier today. I had the pleasure of jumping on over there with Opti, and I'm not joking. I was just smiling the whole time reading the live stream because there's a lot. I'm back. One of you guys can hear me. What have I done? What's Luke done? I'm back. I'm sorry I dropped out if you didn't see me there, but I don't know how I accidentally closed the browser on my live stream. Yeah, I was just saying, massive thank you to everyone who tuned into the Simply Bitcoin live stream. I was giggling like a little child the whole time at some of the comments in the live stream. Houdini, I've done a Houdini. How many push-ups can you do? I think on that live stream back in Peru, I might have done, I think I got challenged to 50. I think I got more than 50. And Brian, kudos. If you can do 60 at 56 years old, that is incredible. Don't buy shitcoins. Why buy shitcoins when Bitcoin? Oh, I have to share my screen. Sorry, I just completely rugged you guys. Still can't believe we've got 1,048 of you guys tuning in. If you are enjoying the stream, we would appreciate a molesting of the like button. We're told that helps the algorithms. Let's pump those numbers up a little bit. Let's see where we're at, actually. I don't normally check how many likes we have during the stream, but I'm told we have 94. Come on, let's get us to 100. I can see 95 likes on the live stream. We got 280 of you guys on YouTube, which means we must have around 700 of you guys on Twitter. Cicely Rob, enjoy the 5 extra plates from Stampseed. There are lots of people in the live chat who can verify that they are a lot of fun. I didn't even show you guys my plates today. This is literally how unscripted I am. You guys have no idea how raw dog I do these live streams. I try to show you these when I remember, but here they are. They're great. So enjoy the 5 plates. Skilly Rob, my friend, they're great. I'm glad you took advantage of that 15% discount too. Enjoy yourself. It'll be a good little Christmas present to play with. Apparently producer Pam is in Dubai. She greets everyone. The weather is beautiful. That's funny. Geo, my man. So anyway, I think McLovin here has a good point to end today's stream on to get me back on track. After I left you guys, countries that implement unrealized capital gains tax will experience unrealized gains themselves. This is exactly how I see it unfolding. Sovereign individual thesis is a great way to wrap this video. The tyrannical countries will lose the productive class. 35 million digital nomads have already left their Western countries that they're not a fan of, and that trend will continue. And I hope that many of you guys in the live stream will join me, becoming a digital nomad and escaping the 9 to 5 and the Western tyranny. And with all that said, guys, I'm going to